I grew up eating something like this in our school cafeteria. It was a no-bake peanut butter treat, and they usually rolled them into balls instead of bars, but I think that bars are actually a lot easier because this is so sticky to make. You're going to start off by melting chocolate chips and just a little bit of vegetable oil in the microwave. I like to put it in the microwave for 30-second increments and then stir in between. I usually need about a minute and 30 seconds, but it could vary. In a separate bowl, you'll add powdered sugar, and then you'll add peanut butter. And after that, we're also going to add a little bit of softened butter and some vanilla. Once you have everything in the bowl, you'll need to stir. This does take a while just because peanut butter is so sticky, and you'll need to really work that softened butter in to make sure there aren't big clumps of it. Make sure your melted chocolate is nice and stirred up before we start assembling. You'll need a 9x9 pan. I line it with 2 sheets of aluminum foil so that you can lift the bars out once they're frozen. You can also use parchment paper, that's up to you. I do typically spray cooking spray just to make sure that all this kind of sticky stuff does not stick to whatever I'm lining the pan with. Then you're going to put in a layer of graham crackers. Then drizzle about 1/3 of the melted chocolate over the top, and you'll want to use a rubber spatula to smooth all of that chocolate out. Once you have the chocolate smoothed out, you can start adding peanut butter. I think the easiest way to do this is to roll it into small balls and then press it down. This is so much easier than putting a bunch in at once and then trying to spread it because it just really doesn't want to spread. Once you have a layer of the peanut butter, you're going to use all of it at once. We will go back to layering our chocolate. Again, just a drizzle of about 1/3 of the chocolate and then smooth it out with a spatula. And a layer of the graham crackers. And then your final layer is going to be the rest of the chocolate. After you place the final layer, we'll transfer it to the freezer for at least 30 minutes to let it harden, and then you'll lift it out of the pan. This is why I told you to line it with aluminum foil or parchment paper. It just makes it so easy. At this point, it will be frozen and it will be super solid. It is a little hard to cut, but it's not too bad. I would recommend using a large chef's knife to make your cuts so that you can go all the way across the 9 inches. Cut this into about 12 bars total, and then I recommend storing it either in the fridge or in the freezer until you're ready to eat it. Enjoy!